Hello, I'm Grace Peters, a Programs Associate at SmileTrain. I would like to welcome you to the third video of the SmileTrain web series, Cleft Community Advisory Council in Conversation. The CCAC is a group of dedicated volunteers who help advance SmileTrain's goals by serving in an advisory role. Three of our CCAC members, Christine Errico, Alyson Ferguson, and Jessi Williams, have joined us here in order to discuss the logistical challenges that they have faced when dealing with cleft care. Thank you, Christine, Alyson, and Jessi, for sharing your stories with the larger SmileTrain cleft community. And now I'd like to introduce our panelists. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Hi. To kick us off, I would like each of you to introduce yourselves. Jessi, we're going to start off with you.
Hi everybody, my name is Jessi Williams and I live in Glen Arm, Illinois, which is just a few miles away from Springfield. I am a director of nursing at a hospital here in Springfield, and I am part of the cleft community. I have a very beautiful 4-year-old daughter who was born with a unilateral complete cleft lip and palate. So we have been navigating this journey for a little while now. Excited to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessi. Christine, would you like to go next?
Hi, my name is Christine Errico, and I live in Gainesville, Florida. I was born with a bilateral cleft lip and palate, and so I've navigated the cleft community and what it's been like to have a cleft lip and palate for my entire life. I'm really excited to be here, and I'm grateful for the opportunity and to share my experience and knowledge. By day, I'm an accounting professor, and I also do therapy work with my dog, and I just love to help others and just love to let everybody who's involved with cleft lip and palate that you're not alone. There's a big community out there to help you and to inspire you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christine. And last, Alyson.
Hi, my name is Alyson Ferguson. I am a registered nurse in New York. I live in Dutchess County, but I work in Westchester County. I am the mom of a beautiful 15-year-old girl, Madalena, who was born with a cleft lip 15 years ago. She had a bilateral cleft lip, and she's also a part of the SmileTrain Student Ambassador Program.
Great, thank you guys so much for sharing. And now we'll go on to our first question. What are some of the greatest logistical challenges that you have encountered while navigating cleft care, and how have you handled them? Christine, would you like to start off?
Sure, thank you. The biggest logistical challenge for me was when I moved from New York, where I was born and raised, to Florida as an adult. I was in my late 20s when I moved, and I had to leave all of my childhood doctors and dentists behind. I was an adult, so my surgeries were finished, but a few years after I moved to Florida, I needed to have my bridge work replaced, and that was really scary because I didn't know any of the dentists down here, and my doctor and dentist in New York retired, so it was kind of like starting all over again. I was lucky, and I found from a lot of research a dental college in Florida, and I was able to work with dental students and their professors to get the implants that I needed. But even that was a challenge since the students, the work spanned a couple of years, the students graduated. I had new students working on my case, and it was not easy. Another challenge that I had, I remember as a child, was when I was growing up, missing school due to surgeries, dental appointments, and speech therapy. A vivid memory I have was when I was in first grade and I was going to school. I had to switch schools mid-year so I could get speech therapy in a different school, and it was confusing, especially as a first grader. I couldn't understand why I had to leave the school with my friends and go to a different school. And these are things you don't think about as someone with a cleft lip, but they kind of happen, and it's one of the challenges we have to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. That's such a great point, bringing up, just switching, doctors, and you become so close with your surgeons and your dentists, and you have a relationship, and they retire, and then you're like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing. Alyson, would you like to go next? Answer?
Yes, so probably the biggest part, the hardest part for me when I had my daughter 15 years ago, I was a new mom. So, this is my first child. I did not know prior that I would be having a child with a cleft. They didn't see it on any imaging. They weren't looking for it back then. It wasn't a thing to be really to look for. And not that it was so long ago, but it still wasn't as prevalent as it is now, I feel like. So craniofacial teams for me was not a thing. It wasn't even an option. I had to do all the research on my own, which was very difficult. I found a doctor in Albany through a friend of a friend, and it was very hard to find those groups. She had her first surgery at 3 months, but that was very difficult to find a person to help with that, even to go through the feeding process. And she couldn't breastfeed and all these different feeding issues, and that education piece was something that I had to learn on my own and quick. So that was a really big obstacle for me, especially as a new nurse. You're trying to be, a new mom. You want to be able to be a good mom and learn how to be a mom, not, first, in addition to learning how to properly care for your baby with the cleft. So that was a big challenge.
Thank you. And Jessi?
Yeah, so I have to sentiment some of the comments that Christine and Alyson have both shared, but my biggest logistical challenge, I will say, we were fortunate in that we did find out about 17 or 18 weeks into my pregnancy that my daughter was going to have the cleft. We have a strong family history of it, so not overly surprising, but still a lot to take in. And so being a nurse, of course, I went straight into research mode. And I think my biggest logistical challenge was finding the right team that is the right fit for you, not necessarily just having to take the first recommendation that we were given, which would have been to stay local in our community, but to really find the team that was going to provide the best care and the best outcomes for my daughter. And so what ended up happening is we did seek care elsewhere, because after she was born, we realized that she was going to need a device, and I was a huge proponent. I'd done my research, and I knew that if her cleft qualified, that we wanted to do the NAM. And so that was one of the biggest logistical challenges starting, was where do we go to get that service? And then how do we navigate everything that goes along with it, from insurance to doctor's appointments, those kind of things. It's a big commitment. We had weekly appointments that we had to attend, and daily changes and all of those kind of things. But looking back on it now, it was a huge challenge, but it was really for the best outcome possible. So very happy.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I feel like a big theme of all of your responses is you just kind of you go and like you don't really know what to expect, but you do your research, and you know that there are people out there that will help you, and you'll get through it. So that's really amazing. And so our final question is, what advice do you have for others who are just beginning to navigate their own cleft care journeys in the United States? Alyson, would you like to go first?
So I would definitely just offer words of encouragement, because it is so overwhelming at times. And just know that you have such a big group of support, and even through people like Smile Train, there's such a great organization that you can, with all of the resources there. So I would definitely just realize that take one day at a time, because in staying positive, it's a very big deal. So just knowing that you're not alone in this process, there are other people who can help you and share this journey with you, and just take it one day at a time.
Thank you. And Jessi?
Yeah, the best piece of advice I can give is just to remember that you are your child's advocate, and you are the one that can speak for them and make sure that if it doesn't feel right, it may not be. So you have to really feel it in your heart of heart that you're doing the right thing, and that it's going to be the right outcome for your child. And at the end of the day, they're beautiful no matter what. And so you have to remember you can get through this. It is one little bump in the road, but it is a journey, and it's a journey you're going to be on for the rest of their life. And so just to be supportive and to do everything you can, do your research to really be that advocate and give them everything that they can.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessi. And last, Christine.
Thank you, yes. I guess the best advice that I would give is make sure that you and your child are a good fit for the doctors. The child is going to be working, and you as a parent are going to be working with the doctors and the dentists and the entire team for many, many years. And having that good fit and having everyone work together as a team, especially the child trusting the doctors and being comfortable with them, is really important. That will help the child's recovery and their attitude go a long way. And when the parents are on board and the parents feel that they can trust the doctors and the team, as Alyson and Jessi said, that also helps too. Another issue is keep the lines of communication open between the doctors, dentists, and your child, especially as your child grows. Let them know what's going on once you're able to understand throughout their life. You know, it's going to be confusing at times. They may see different doctors and dentists. They may not know why. Let them know what's going on. Let them know if they have to see a different doctor, it might be scary. Help them understand it, because the more that they understand, the easier it's going to be on them to accept what the medical challenges are that they're facing, and they will be less likely, I guess, to have, they'll have higher self-esteem and higher confidence and approach it with a better attitude than if they were in the dark about it. And that's, you know, just keep everybody informed. Communication is going to be your best friend with everyone.
Awesome. Thank you. And before we wrap up, I would just like to extend a big thank you to each of you for sharing your personal experiences with Cleft and supporting Smile Train's cause. We look forward to continuing these important conversations. Thank you so much.